Wow. Here we go. I'm in. Wow. Mothman.
Destroying worldviews far and wide. Remote viewer can decide. Thousands of years.
Hey, big blast, huh? Let's get friggin' blessed up.
It's Chicago, where the Mothman dies.
Sorry I'm a little late. This time zone thing is a real wild ride for me.
Mothman in Chicago.
Big blast, Sarah. Big blast, Alexandria and Nick and Kat and Adam and Chris and Teddy and Bobby and Chris and Bobby and Alex and Keith and big blast. I bless your cider, Keith.
Mothman is not safe from you.
Wow, 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 wow.
Mothman
Yeah, time zones suck.
has a soul.
I'm really not into the time zone thing. Big bless, did Paul.
Bringer of rock and roll.
I bless you, Carlos Peña Weffer and Diego Alberto Mastronardi.
Those who disbelieve will be left behind.
Big bless to Ghetto Hummus. We'll just hang out for a minute or two
That is real.
while people
I surmise.
filter in, you know. It is hilarious.
Don't be surprised.
Turn this down a little bit. It is hilarious how when the time goes back an hour and the the sun sets at 5 instead of 6. I feel it immediately. My mood immediately drops. And that was great timing, but I'm going to start it over again. Yeah, I just, it's so funny because it's like I know what it is. It's like, oh yeah, you feel like there's no point to anything because it's dark an hour earlier now. You clown. There's nothing wrong, you clown. It's just dark earlier. Get friggin' used to it. Yeah, no, this is day 1 of the time change, and I'm like, fuck. How long is it gonna be like this? Yeah. Well, that's what we do, We'll just get blessed. And, yeah. Get through it. So yeah, I mean, let's get, we'll get started in like a minute. I'm gonna sip some tea. Ginger tea. We're gonna talk about Mothman for a little bit. And then we're gonna get into that David Icke video about Saturn. And it's pretty funny. And it's long. I mean, obviously we won't watch the whole thing, but there's a lot that we can get into from it and about it. So yeah, it'll be great. Big bless, everybody.
It's Chicago, where the Mothman dies. Mothman in Chicago.
bet this looks like how you imagined it would.
Consciousness is on the rise. Those who disbelieve will be left behind.
This is Mothman in Chicago by ZG. Music Nar is the description. Yeah, I think a lot, I don't think a lot of people have watched this. It has 934 views. I found it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's a fun time. But let's go visit our friend.
If you were gonna see him,
Peter Kane, the dog trainer. This is the man who had a lot of disturbing Bigfoot content. Now, I didn't watch this whole video. It's very long, but some of the stuff he says right at the beginning is very funny. Let's get it.
Just to kind of look around and see if I see the bat. It's real, and I know people are giving me shit. I know you're going to say, oh, no, he didn't really see a giant bat. I did see a giant bat. Other people have seen the giant bat, too. Ask Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
He's seen it.
He saw the
but
giant
it's
bat.
during the day. Sometimes I'll come out here and I'll just see it above the barn. Like moth, bat, whatever it is. It flies. Cameron Diaz. I heard she's... And Courtney Thorne-Smith. They both saw it. That's only three people that have seen it. And there's other people that you don't know of.
Yeah.
That have seen it. There was a person down at Dandy Martin was talking about it. Like, I saw this giant bat. It's pale. I'm like, yeah. You saw it too?
I really like that. I don't know if hard to tell if this guy is kind of joking around sometimes or what the deal is, but I like that. It's pale. Hey, check it out, huh? It's pale. Let's watch that. Let's watch that again.
This giant bat. It's pale. I'm like, yeah. You saw it too? And then somebody said, that's Mothman. That's what they said. It's Mothman. But it looks like a bat, man. I'm telling you, it looks like a bat. Looks like a bat. I think it's a bat. I left the door open. I didn't see it, honestly. I did not see it when I went through the kitchen to turn off the water. I'm just admitting to everybody, I'm not afraid of any animal. It's a bat that's the size of like a German Shepherd. It's real big. I've had pets since I was a kid, first grade. Mice, monarch butterflies, all kinds of animals lived in my room as a kid. Salamanders, dogs. My parents were fine with it. My mother sort of encouraged that about me. It was something I was into. I was interested in it. But there is one animal that flips me out. There is. And it's only one animal. It doesn't matter if like, there's a squirrel in my house, okay.
He went from there's no animal alive that I'm not afraid of to, oh, there's one.
I'll go deal with it. A possum, I can pick it up. Totally calm. I'm like a snake. I'm like cold-blooded when it comes to warm-blooded animals, except one. And that would be the bat. And this yesterday, I'm cleaning out the garage, and
He brought a prop for illustration, which is helpful.
was looking for something in particular because I planted some young pawpaw trees, and to shade them, you have to shade the young pawpaw trees when they're real young. So I'll put old milk crates over them, and it's enough shade. They work perfect. So I'm cleaning up in there. I'm moving stuff out here. I'm moving stuff back, looking for milk crates. And I find a milk crate, and it's filled with whole pottery. See, that's whole pottery right there. I think that's a cookie jar. And there's like a creamer. There's a mug. It has like the, sort of like a Western feel to it. See, whole. It's collectible. It's oven proof. See, why am I not using this shit? This is oven proof, and I'm not using it. Yeah, here's like a monkey dish, and this is oven proof too. They're all oven proof. So I'm taking the whole pot. I take the whole pottery out, and then when I get,
It's good storytelling. I mean, he really, you know, maybe a little too much detail on the pottery. It's oven proof, but I don't know. I mean, did he see Mothman in the pottery? I guess now we got to find out.
to the bottom of it, there's like fuzz. There's like this like fuzz in the bottom of the crate, like crap. I don't know what it is, but it's furry, and this is sticking out, the wing. I see that wing and I'm like, oh fuck! I swear to God, I jump back. It's like my heart starts beating, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, well, that looks plastic. That looks plastic, but I still didn't want to reach down and touch it. They seem filthy to me. They're filthy. That's like every other animal seems clean except the bat. The only thing that I can come up with why it's like, I'm serious. It is not a whale. I'd swim up on a whale, no problem. Not a problem. But a fucking bat. Like my heart starts beating. It's weird. I did have a bat in my house. I had bats next to my it was trauma. It was traumatic. Next to the chimney between the house. Like that's where they were hanging out. Brown bats, small brown bats. That's the female bats and their babies, and then the males, they usually hang out on a tree. They're not gonna roost in your house like that. So they were in there. Oh God, 2 times I had.
I kind of don't think this is going anywhere. But yeah, and you know, bats have gotten enough bad press this year, so maybe I'll
give it a rest.
I think that could be.
I mean, he's just dealing with bats. It's not like he had a
succubus, fuckubus,
or anything like that. That's cause for alarm. Well, hey, so here's a Mothman sighting. Check this out, huh? Pretty scary. Oh, I really got to load these up before, as we've learned. Sorry.
Mothman. I've got a video clip I want to show you a bit later, which I've seen. Just came across today, which is quite interesting. But if you don't know about the Mothman, there was a movie made about 2003 with Richard Gere. So I don't know if you've seen that, but there was also, I think there was a book.
Yeah, to be clear, I like bats. I think they're pretty cool. They eat a lot of bugs, and they do it at night, you know. So what is there? And okay, so this video, this guy talks about Mothman a lot, but you got to see this sighting. It is unbelievable.
Espérate, me tengo que acercar. ¿Qué? Uy. Loco, ¿qué será eso? No entiendo. ¿Qué es eso? Nunca había visto eso. Se está subiendo. Suave, que no se me pierda de vista. Nunca había visto eso. ¿Qué es esto? Pero, qué raro. Se fue.
So there you go. There's Mothman. Oh, you know, this was kind of a fun one. This guy does a video podcast thing, and he talks about supernatural stuff. A lot of it is him at his house in the Chicagoland area. He's kind of just sitting on his back deck looking for UFOs, and you can just hang out with him. His name is Gutter Gawker. He doesn't have a lot of followers or anything. I watched part of one of his podcasts. It seemed all right. You just kind of look at the stars with a guy. But I thought it was funny that he posted this video because this, to me, is a clear, you know, you just edit this out or edit around it or something. But, I mean, here we go.
Oops. All right, here we go. Fly the drone.
Time to fly the drone.
Mothman tonight. Cryptids. UFOs. Chicago. Dark hour paranormal.
Hey, thank you.
Check it out.
Big blast, Blue Rose Witch.
Colors fell off. Freak. Go, baby, go. Come on, man. Trying to do a promo video here.
Trying to do a promo video, man.
Manny Navarrete. Tobias. Lon. You could do this, drone.
Come on, drone.
Drone doesn't want to fly. Fuck's sake.
I don't know. When I stumbled across that, I really liked it. There's a live feed of the Mothman statue in Point Pleasant in West Virginia that apparently isn't running right now. But you just watch people walk up to a statue. Okay, so now let's going to move on to reptilians and videos of reptilians showing that they are reptiles. But I think maybe we can get into that after this David Icke thing, because this is chunky stuff. This is a long talk. Like I said, I do not support David Icke. I think he's kind of a negative influence in many ways. But so this is a talk that he's giving, and he apparently his time slot is small, so he doesn't have enough time to say everything he wants to say. But the title of it is Saturn Isn't What You Think It Is. So we're gonna skip around, obviously, because it's 53 minutes long. But there's some very funny stuff in here, so let's go.
Is that symbol more likely to be the sun we know today, or the sun we once knew? Saturn. Saturn is the key to understanding so much.
Okay, so right off the bat, a claim. Saturn is the sun that we once knew. Let's see where that goes.
It was known as the old sun. It is known in occult as the old sun, the dark sun, and the dark lord, the lord of the rings. And the massive penny...
Okay, all right. Somebody get Dick Spargo on the phone. We're talking about the Lord of the Rings. Also, does anybody know if Saturn is ever referred to as the dark sun or anything? Is that true? Did he just make that up? I've never heard that, but I don't really know.
Drop for me. Whoa, the kaleidoscope moved when I started to realize that at least so many, if not all, the ancient sun gods were not gods of the sun we know today, but of the Saturn sun that was focused on before, because it was in a different position.
Okay. Is there any way that is true? I am not an astronomer. I am not the historian. But right away, I will say, I don't believe you.
Saturn has long been symbolized as an eye. There's the eye in Freemasonry. There's the eye of Sauron in the Lord of the Rings.
Where's Dick? Dick Spargo.
Get it in here.
The reptilian eye, the symbol of the negative force. And what happened in the massive and brilliant work of David Talbot.
So he just showed some eyes. He said Saturn has been symbolized by eyes. Here's 2 eyes.
The Saturn myth is that at some point there was an enormous ejection of debris in an explosion out of Saturn. And it formed like a luminous crescent, because it reflected light at certain points of the day. And this as the Earth moved on its axis, when viewed from the Earth, this appeared to move around Saturn. And at different points, there are different symbolism for different points. But this was the one that really was the focus of Saturn symbolism, because this was when that luminous crescent was at its most luminous during the day. And so you find this symbol.
People
Oh, here he is.
Stuff, some far out stuff. But how about that chair that you're sitting in isn't solid? How weird is that? This reality is nothing like we think it is.
My next guest is David Icke. He describes himself as a full-time investigative journalist searching for the truth of what's really going on in the world. David, good morning.
Morning, Ryan. I set out on a world speaking tour in the summer of 2016 because I could feel that more and more people were starting to feel uneasy about the world.
You realize that there is a whole awakening movement around the world.
At least he's giving truths out there that plant a seed.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you welcome on stage David Icke?
Thank you. Thank you. Whoa. Thank you. Thank you.
If I have to be stopped.
To stop you telling lies.
It's becoming more and more of a challenge to find places to speak without it being cancelled. My website is blocked in schools and universities and colleges. The system is desperate to silence what I'm putting out. Why?
They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you.
Fine. We were ridiculed beyond belief. Press camped outside the house, followed us on holidays.
Yes, I know people put a lot of work into conspiracy theories, but I still think they're actually intellectually lazy.
Have you read any of my books?
No.
How do you know that it's intellectually lazy? If I had not let go of this concern what other people think, does anybody think I would have talked and written about some of the things I have since? No way!
When I saw what Ike is doing, I was a bit jealous on him. Wow, look at what this guy's doing.
I love his mind. I don't know if anybody else could do it but him, actually.
We are in a period now where speaking your truth is not just important, it's utterly crucial to where humanity goes from here.
I mean, what kind of world are those kids going to live in if we go on as we are? But we're not going to. Much as that will distress those.
Over and over.
Anyway, so that was a good intro to this man, really. I mean, obviously it was made by him. So actually maybe not a good intro, but this is what he's putting out about himself. I think it was good that it showed that he's been around for a while. You saw him as a young hunky boy on TV with people laughing at him and stuff. So yeah, this is him. Anyway, okay. So he's trying to make this case that Saturn used to have a luminous crescent, so maybe it did, I don't know, or also that it was in a different position. He ties it into all kinds of fun stuff. Let's keep on going.
In the ancient world. And this is a common recurring theme of Saturn. And this, the crescent symbolically, and the disk of the Saturn sun, the dwarf star. And so from this came the horned god, the horned goddess. There is Madonna in her Super Bowl performance at halftime, which was so Saturn in its symbolism, it was laughable.
Here we go. If you were waiting for it to start, I know my form is frozen right now because I went to take a sip of my tea. My little tea. Okay, but here you go. So you go to David Icke's house on Super Bowl Monday, the day after, and you say, "Hey Dave. Did you catch the big game? And then Dave says,
Yes. Why, yes, I did.
And you say, what did you think of Madonna? What did you think about the halftime show, Dave? And then Dave says,
I thought it was. I thought it was Saturnian.
And you say, well, Dave, that's you're right. That you can think that. Can you explain to me? Can you explain to me how it was Saturnian, Dave?
Including the fiery eye. And in the movie version of The Lord of the Rings, you had the crescent holding the eye of Sauron.
Okay, so here we go. But isn't it possible that the crescent, you just need something to hold it up, right? I mean most stuff has a crescent under it, you know, if it's being suspended above a hat. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I guess you could call it's like any necklace is sort of a crescent situation, you know, and then your head's Saturn, I guess, in that case. I don't really know.
In Arabia, or you look at that of the symbol of Islam, the star, the sun, and the crescent. And the Arabian god Sin was symbolized as a crescent. Here you go. And I would suggest, from David Talbot's point of view, and I think he's right, that this represents the crescent of Saturn. This is the guy who started a satanic Saturn organization or secret society out of Germany called the Brotherhood of Saturn. And there's that symbol of the sun, look.
Has anybody heard of that? I've never heard of that organization. Also, this looks like a different symbol to me, Dave.
The dot, that's Saturn, not the sun that we have today, and the horned god.
Man, this guy must get a real bone on when he drives past a Target, huh? Look, it's Saturn. Savings, that's Saturn.
Molech, who is symbolized at Bohemian Grove as the owl, is also symbolized as the bull, and there's the horns with Saturn in the middle. And so you have the bull gods of Mesopotamia. And the winged goddesses in that state, this was often symbolized as the goddess with her holding the god, her arms around the god, or her wings around the god.
So he's just making a really long case for, I guess, symbolism but he hasn't really tied any of it to Saturn, in my view. He's just saying, look, there's a lot of symbols in the world, and a crescent is part of a lot of them, and so is a circle with a dot in it. Like this, to me, is there any record of an explosion on Saturn that makes it luminescent? I mean, I really got my little skeptic hat on right now, mostly because I'm not a fan of this man's more recent work. That is true. Maybe I'm not giving him a fair shake, but so far I am unconvinced.
The flying disc of Egypt and other places.
Yeah. We're going to get a lot of these. I'm sorry. I didn't really do the seatbelt. I don't want to hear about this.
And thus you have the Rosicrucian order, which connects into this network, using that flying disc symbolism. And so many of these logos carry the same symbolism. And in her Super Bowl performance, Madonna had the flying disc of Saturn. This is another ancient Saturn symbol because at some points, apparently it seemed to give off four very distinct lights, which became known as the four corners or the four rivers.
So now basically any cross is also implicated in his theory, I suppose. What is this?
Saturn symbolism when you watched it play out. Then you've got this symbol of the horned god. Again, Saturn, Satan, as it also...
I mean, there's a leap right there. Saturn is Satan. I don't know where it's coming from. We're skipping around, so I don't think I can really call him out on his continuity anymore because we're skipping around. But I hope it shows this demon pic.
So became known
again,
which is you find with so many politics.
Or then is this just like Bill Maher doing the rock symbol? Like how how lame do you have to be in, what year was this? To be calling out the Ronnie James Dio goat horns hand thing, the rock and roll, the hey, I'm at the gig, hey, I'm seeing a classic rock band and they're all old, and so I'm doing this with my hands because I'm frickin' over 50. But how lame do you have to be in that age group and to say, yes, when politicians do it, it's because of Satan. To me, it's just like you're fully out of your gourd, my friend.
Politicians, and Pat Robertson, this so-called Christian evangelist, yeah, okay. And talking of horns and horned gods, in astrology, Saturn is connected to Capricorn, and so one of the Saturn symbols is the goat.
Okay, here he's Alexandria. Maybe that ties in with your point a little bit.
This again is the great Freemasonic historian Manly P. Hall, who said Pan, the goat god, was a composite creature, the upper part, with the exception of his horns, being human, and the lower part in the form of a goat. The god himself is.
Am I to believe that Pan's bush entirely conceals Pan's genitalia? Is that what I am to believe here? Or is this censorship, David?
Hurry, Charlie.
Censor bits for me?
The symbol of Saturn, because this planet is enthroned in Capricorn, whose emblem is a goat. That is what that is. Baphomet, worshipped by Satanists. It's a symbol of Saturn. And
Man, I kind of think he's selling Baphomet short there, by my understanding, but here we go.
Going somewhere with this, because I'm going why they're focused on Saturn. So, you have Baphomet, you have Beyonce, the wife of Jay-Z, with this big...
I kind of like that as a drop. You have Baphomet, you have Beyonce.
Big Baphomet ring, which is performing. You have Baphomet-dressed Lady Gaga, Baphomet-dressed Madonna, and you have Baroness Philippine de Rothschild from the wineries in France with a massive Baphomet
I think where he fails, where David Icke fails, is that, there's a large portion of the population that thinks that demon stuff is just cool, and that just the imagery, it doesn't make them Satanists. And even being a Satanist doesn't make you a bad person or suspect in any way. But he's basically showing Halloween costumes in many of these cases and saying, look, the devil is everywhere.
or necklace.
And he doesn't outright call out these performers, these artists right here. But I think it's fair to say that we're supposed to connect that dot and say, oh yes, they're bad, demon bad.
And this is from the front cover of the Saturn myth, with the symbolism described of these lights that went off from...
Anyway, okay, so here we see a Star of David. Now, this should be a red flag for all of you out there to see when you see a conspiracy theorist start pulling out the Star of David. And indeed it is with good reason. He doesn't full out say anything. But I thought his point about the dollar thing was quite funny. I thought this was very funny. I might have to go a little bit before it. I don't want to, air anything anti-Semitic, and I don't think that this is. If it takes that turn, we'll skip way forward because I think he gets away from that. But let's try this part.
Much was 500 to 1,000-year-old Zulu hands.
Sensational!
I really built it up there, and then instead we see I hope I don't get dinged for this. This is an ad. Jeez.
If you do that on the dollar bill, you get the six-pointed star, and those letters make an anagram of Mason, interestingly.
Okay. Hold the phone. So if you do this with a dollar, okay, you get A, S, M, O, and N, Okay, there's no, you can't go around clockwise or counterclockwise and make anything out of this. Also, you've got 5 letters here, and then a point with nothing. So now this to me, it's like, okay, so it's actually, you can get rid of this point. You think that it's okay, because first you got to draw the pyramid, okay, but this point serves no purpose. So I am not on board with this. I'm not on board with this. And then I'm just supposed to unscramble it to Mason. Come on, man. I'm not on board.
Those letters make an anagram of Mason, interestingly. Inside the Great Mother Lodge of Freemasonry in Great Queen Street, London, there is the Twin Towers, symbolic of the crescent, and there is Saturn again, the 6-pointed star. Now, of course, the Roman Church and Christianity, that is anti-Freemasonry and anti-secret societies because they're naughty, but it's on his bloody fish hat, look, right? They're everywhere because the same force is in control. Here you go, have a bit more Madonna. There you go.
Have a bit more Madonna. There's a part up here that made me laugh. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, well, so here he gets into the demiurge, which I guess is important to a lot of what he does later.
I'm depicted with a protruding tongue. There's Madonna again. I mean, she must have the bloody book she works through.
I mean, that's funny because she kind of does. I know she's into Kabbalah briefly or whatever. I mean, I don't know how much, but, symbolism is fun.
The god El, the Hebrew god El, was their god of Saturn. So El and Elohim are demiurge and archons, I would suggest. So we have archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, another name for Jesus, Emmanuel. We have the Gospels, Chapel, elders, elevated to the priesthood, elections where pawns are elected to serve the elite.
That's something I like. The way language is extrapolated upon this much. Chapel, elders, elevated to the priesthood, actions, where pawns are elected to serve the elite. And then at the bottom, of course, Israel. We'll get into some more. He implicates a lot of corporations here.
The hammer that the judge uses, it's all Saturn symbolism. You see Saturn profusely used in symbolism of the corporate world. And this.
The Earth, Wind, and Fire part cracks me up.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, they got the bloody set. There's the eye, there's the 6-pointed star, there's the step pyramid, there's the winged disc, and there's bloody Saturn. And then...
I mean, I see a few issues here with the Saturn thing. Just anything with a ring around it is Saturn. I'm not buying that. There's a lot of other symbols. But then also, this is clearly an Egyptian-themed record cover. It's not, which is the thing that I think he doesn't get, where it's like, we reuse symbolism, and, especially when it fits a theme. It does not mean that Earth, Wind, or Fire are implicated in anything bad. And in fact, I think if you took a spin through this,
great as
Dave. You might have a good time.
There's the eye, there's the 6-pointed star, there's the step pyramid, there's the winged disc, and there's bloody Saturn. And then...
Sorry, I'm catching up with the comments. Taco Bell. He'll be cancelled. Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth. He'd probably get in on that as well. Anything with L, you just can't. L's are cancelled, according to Dave.
Therefore, you look at religions and secret societies and Satanism, they're worshipping Saturn. Then you look astrologically, in other words, energetically. Banking is astrologically ruled by Saturn. Politics and institutions of state at all levels, astrologically ruled by Saturn.
I mean, the dots that he's connecting, he really does live out the image of the red threads connected to newspaper articles and maps and stuff on somebody's wall. He really is making a lot of connections.
Corporations astrologically ruled by Saturn.
Are corporations anywhere in astrology? This is news to me. I didn't know.
Or in court system astrologically ruled by Saturn. Science astrologically ruled by Saturn.
Okay, now what? So what's the deal? What? So you want people to think that science is bad? I mean, if that is, you're implicating it, or I mean, I guess he didn't say that, and that, that'd probably be his defense. Is I never said that. I just said that it's astrologically ruled by Saturn. And listen, buddy, I know corporations are people. All right, I'm on board. I'm a modern human. I think that Pepsi Cola is as much of a person as any children that I would have had if I had thought that the planet would survive another 50 years. But that's out the window. So Pepsi is my family now. Because I will not have children. And in fact, I would like it for Darren W. Woods, the CEO of ExxonMobil, to pay for my vasectomy. I have an album coming out. It's all songs directed at Darren W. Woods, saying, please, I'd like to sever my vas deferens because of your indifference. Things like that. Help me cut off my balls, Darren, because I can't have children because you ruin the planet. It's a cheap procedure. Just pay for my vasectomy. I won't have kids. Listen, Darren, I need you to pay for 4 billion vasectomies. It's the right thing to do, okay? We can't have kids anymore. It's over, okay? The ice is gone, all right? You need to pay for 4 billion vasectomies, Darren. Listen, Darren. I actually have begun writing songs about this. It'll take me a little time to get it put together, but that part is true. Anyway, back to Dave. Let's skip forward and see if he tries to connect anything. Oh, this part about the moon is good because here's where he starts running out of time. He only had an hour booked, and we got to go back a little bit more because he does start to talk about what Saturn really is. So let's try. Okay, I have to keep going back because this takes a little while. It takes a little effort.
Realized there was something very strange about Saturn's rings.
Right now, engineers up.
Oh, nice. Is this this is a pro 5G ad.
His book,
during a David Icke video. That's a smart move.
Makers of Saturn. Several years ago, a number of folks in the astrology and astronomy and physics world began theorizing that these rings had to be much younger than the universe, perhaps only about 100 million years old. But one pair of pictures shows a change in 5 minutes.
Okay, I looked into this. He's talking about this guy wrote a book about Saturn, and I don't know. I couldn't find this point he was making in any of the summaries of the book that I found. But basically, he's saying there's like some quantum. The book is by Norman Berggren. So I don't know. He's trying to say that like Saturn, it's doing the flippy thing that they talk about in quantum physics, where it's two ways at once, and it's observed to be this way, and then it's observed to be another way simultaneously, or something like this. But anyway, I couldn't find any. He cites it here. I couldn't find this. I did look into it. Sorry.
Occurs because of apparent failure to identify a physical mechanism suitable for producing recurrent change. In other words, classic mainstream science, if we can't explain it, we'll kid ourselves it doesn't exist. And he also found these in the pictures coming back from Voyager, and the Cassini ones found them too. And he calls them electromagnetic vehicles, and they are massive.
Here we go. So, seeing some Merkabas flying around Saturn, and they've got pics. All right, they've got the pics to prove it.
Saturn. They're not talking the same perception of big in terms of outside of the Earth. And here are some of the other pictures of these electromagnetic vehicles picked up by these NASA craft. Why aren't they all in the papers being talked about? You'd think, what the hell is this? No, nothing. Thanks to Bergeron, we've seen their existence.
You know, these rings are made up of like dust and shit and like ice. You know, I think it's possible that you can, with a long exposure, you see something, you know, flying around. It doesn't make it an electromagnetic vehicle.
This is the Hubble telescope. Let's pick one of them up. Look at the size of the bloody thing.
Oh, look at the size of the bloody thing. Does he say that when he disrobes?
And here's a few Cassini spacecraft pictures, still pictures put together. What the hell is that? Exactly what Bergeron was describing from Voyager. And this is the other thing. He found pictures of stuff spewing out of these electromagnetic vehicles into the rings of Saturn and bloody making them or extending them.
Hub L.
And what is said to be in the rings of Saturn, I guess thus that's why we can see them, is like ice and stuff. I think, and I would suggest that eventually they will realize that there is a crystal substance being put into those rings that has a dramatic impact on their ability to transmit information. In 2009, NASA released this picture, which is a ring around Saturn, which is from 3.7 million miles out to 7.4 million, and that ring could encompass 1 billion Earths. I suggest that there are rings that we can see, but there are sound rings that we can't see that are coming out across, and we're picking them up.
I mean, that's pretty fun. There's a part where he really talks about what he thinks it is. Oh, I guess that's coming up pretty quick.
You go out of the matrix. And when all the genetic tinkering that the ancients talked about went on, the human form was being manipulated to be tuned in to receive and transmit within the frequency band of this Saturn broadcast.
Here you go. All right. Here he's cutting to the chase at 32 minutes in.
And pulling people from a heart state beyond the matrix into a emotional point of interaction massively in the matrix was a major way of tuning us into this fake reality. We talk about people who don't think for themselves as being in the box. Maybe we ought to say that they're in the cube.
I don't really get the cube connection, but think outside the cube for once, Adam, okay? We're trying to get our business off the ground. Can you get out of the cube? Can you get out of the Matrix cube? Or are you picking up those Saturn vibes again, huh? You're picking up the waves from your controllers, huh? From your puppet masters, huh? Come on. Anyway, he briefly talks about the moon here. I thought there was a part where I'll keep it going. There's a part where he thinks that we can like enter a new reality by going beyond Saturn.
And they want to shut the heart down, and they have to so many people, because it takes us beyond the bounds of time and space, beyond the matrix, because I suggest that what we call time as we decode it is in this matrix transmission. I'll whip through this quickly because I've talked about this in my books at great length, and I've talked about this at Under London Talks.
Maybe the heart brings us to a new reality was the point. I think I misunderstood that.
But I say the moon is a construct or a part construct. This is a book called Who Built the Moon by Chris.
How about I would love to give a PowerPoint prepresentation at some point in my life where I flip to a slide that says moon control, and I say, I'm just gonna speed through this. I'm just gonna, I'll give you the highlights, but the moon control thing, we all know about the moon control, so I'll get through this pretty quick. I know we all want to get to lunch.
Of a Night and Alan Butler, it's absolutely brilliant in the way that it puts the case for the moon not being real.
There's your zinger too. This book builds a case for the moon not being real. Love it.
In terms of a natural body. But interestingly, what they find in that book is the mathematics and geometry between the sun, the moon, and the earth are fantastic in terms of their synchronicity, and it does not apply in any way to the rest of the solar system. And the Gnostic writings found in Nag Hammadi in 1945, 1,000...
It's called gravity, bud.
600 years old or more, say that this is a separate system operating within the Archon system of the inorganic.
Guys, on Twitch, there's a guy named Mr. J Runtime 342, and he says, want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and views on bigfollows.com. So if anybody's looking for big follows, Mr. J Runtime can help out. Anyway.
Organic universe. They say in the book, the authors, the maths involved in the Earth, Moon, Sun system is nothing less than staggering. And that the moon has been put there with the accuracy of the proverbial Swiss watchmaker.
Well, you know, that's it's kind of like life, bud. The maths is staggering with many things. You know, the maths was here before we were. You know, we're trying to figure it out. That's why it's staggering. But you know, staggering things happen. So, like if you're trying to say that somebody put the moon there, I don't think you would want to say it's perfect. I think if you're going to say somebody put the moon there, you'd say it's imperfect. You know, that would be my angle, but I don't know.
So, when viewed from the Earth, it's the size of the sun at an eclipse. The BBC did a program, Do We Really Need the Moon? And it said the moon is now in a perfect position to sustain life on Earth in its effect on the Earth, but it's just a coincidence. I think not. We only see the near side of the moon. We don't see the far side of the moon. And the authors say in that book, the moon is bigger than it should be, apparently older than it should be, much lighter in mass than it should be. It occupies an unlikely orbit and is so extraordinary that all existing explanations for its presence are fraught with difficulties, and none of them could be considered remotely watertight. The mainstream theory is that the Earth was hit by a Mars-type planet when it was forming and a chunk came off.
Right, I like that. The should-bes are like, what? According to who? Says who? Compared to what? Compared to what? Anyway, he talks about theories of the moon forming and how they're unlikely, and I think this might have been as far as I got, but there's some funny stuff.
Actually, what I'm looking
throughout.
Firewall. All that we see or seem is just a dream within a bigger dream.
Shit, I guess we got to go back and see how we got here.
We look into the night sky. Are we seeing what's real, or are we seeing a projection? I talked in I think it was my last book, or the one before that. I had a profound experience as a little boy when I was first taken to the London Planetarium, when I looked and saw the night sky on the roof of the planetarium, and it looked so bloody real. And it hit me, and it's never left me. But actually, when I look at the night sky, that ain't actually what I'm looking at. Firewall.
I think we just got to the bottom of it.
All that we see or seem is just a dream within a bigger dream. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
You know, I think we kind of figured him out there. He got tricked at the planetarium, and he just couldn't let it go. So now he's trying to like get back at the planetarium guys. Like, you think you can show people something that isn't real? I'll show you something. I'll figure it all out. I'm Dave.
Red eye.
Caught in the landslide. No escape from reality. Open your eyes, look at the skies, and see. Is it a sky? Or is it a projection?
I mean, and the Queen thing, that needs no commentary.
And so, when we come to the Matrix, and this scene in the Matrix, I call it the Saturn Moon Matrix, maybe connected to other things we don't know yet. This is so real, and so the world we live in. If you add two words, the Saturn Moon Matrix is everywhere.
And then why is it now the Saturn Moon thing? I don't know. And then he just reads lines from the Matrix. I mean, it's It's a little too easy. Little too easy. I think we're going to get slammed with another ad here. Anyway, I mean, I'm satisfied. I've got everything I needed out of that. I got up a bunch of videos of people turning into vampires. Oh, we were going to get into some goblins. We can briefly get into some goblins. This guy isn't super hilarious outright, but he does have videos where he tries to create a goblin outpost, and I think that's fun. I think we can get into that. Here's the introduction to his channel.
Need a ride?
Actually, it's an advertisement for some Uber type thing.
Hello, and thank you for coming to this channel. My name is Hunter Salazar, and I will be your host on this channel.
It's quiet. I'm sorry. We won't play. It's 50 seconds long. Try. See if you can get out of it.
Now, this channel is about different spirits and gods. It's about magic, the occult, different shamanistic techniques, consciousness, mental health, and how different paths relate to one another. I believe that no spiritual or religious path is destined to be the only one. I think that it's about how you walk a path, not what the path is. Now,
so you kind of get his vibe from there. There's another. I pulled this video up because he has a video where he kind of encourages being an energy vampire, which I thought was interesting. But
today I was at a concert.
It's a little different than you might think it is. We'll quickly do this, and then we'll get to the Goblin Outpost.
Hello, everyone. So today I was at a concert, specifically a Kaleo concert in Dallas, Texas. And I decided to try an energy technique that I have not tried around a crowd this big before. Now, this energy technique I'm talking about is from the Psychic Vampire Codex, a manual of magic and energy work. And it actually isn't a book.
David Icke would shit his pants if he saw the cover of that. He would, oh man, what is that? Saturn? You got bug on there, you got wings, you got circles. Oh Lord, this is Saturn.
Of negative magic, as you might think. And it's by Michelle Belanger. But, you would think that, okay, psychic vampires, they feed on people, they take the energy without their knowledge or without their consent. And actually in the book, her and the specific kind of psychic vampires that she operates with, they focus on basically removing blockages in the spine so that energy can flow more freely in people's spines.
It's like a Kundalini type angle.
They get to feed a little bit by feeding on that energy that's been blocked, that's been kind of compressed and blocked, and then the person also benefits by having.
So you're just eating people's blockages is his angle here. I'll take your energy, but just the gunk. Give me your gunk. I'll scrape the gunk. I'll eat that. You'll feel better. I'll feel better. We both win.
A free moving energy along their spine. And how does this work? How does energy moving more freely along the spine benefit someone? You generally have more energy.
Yeah, so he's a plumber. Anyway, he creates a goblin outpost in this video. Pretty fun. Of course, after an advertisement. Calling all married couples, huh? Here we go.
Alright everyone, so today we're going to be creating a goblin outpost. Now what is a goblin outpost? It sounds like something from a strategy game. A goblin outpost, I'm titling it this because it kind of explains what it is. So basically I'm putting a place in the yard.
I mean, look at these items. This, you could catch me with this kind of trap, dried mugwort, sign me up. Modelo, sign me up. Bubblegum, sign me up. Loose change, oh.
You know
I love loose change. Little incense thing, love that. Pink feather, hey. I'll take that. A banana, love that.
I need potassium.
What it is. So basically I'm putting a place in the yard where it is very easy for the goblins to pop into this dimension in this spot so that they can watch the property, they can keep an eye on things, and Whizbang and Shadow can fulfill their contract, as well as bring other goblins to watch over everything, and basically...
He names some goblins there, Whizbang being one of them. So it's like, it leads me to inferring from this that there aren't really that many goblins, and that they can maybe transcend the physical plane and travel to your outpost. But I do wonder if Whizbang can teleport. Please, let the record show. Can I be quoted on this? If Whizbang can teleport, why doesn't he just go to the 7-Eleven, get his own bubble gum and beer, huh? If you're so smart, you think you're the only guy in town with bubble gum? If Whizbang can teleport, he can take anybody's.
Not let anything into the property or onto the property that has any ill intentions towards us or any kind of malevolent intent. And I offer the goblins a lot of food in return, but I'm basically going to be showing how I'm going to create this outpost, what offerings and what elements of the ritual I'm going to do. And we'll kind of go from there. It's going to be a stack of rocks right there, and the rest of that is going to be these. I'm going to be using these elements. But let's go ahead and make that stack of rocks, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, everyone. We have a good pile of kind of medium stones, as well as I'll be using some of these small ones. I'll be making a mound right there. And I'll be placing certain items around the mound. What I'm going to place in the middle is going to be this crystal, because that has to do with transference between dimensions, and basically this goblin outpost is...
Big bless to you, Carl. And happy birthday. And
just a big
bless. I hope you're okay. If you're having some health issues, well, we at the tribe miss you. It's fun to have you around. You can watch all this later. Just know we give you a big bless. And everybody's giving a big bless to Caro in the chat, and we mean it. Big bless, happy birthday, and you get well soon. And don't let Whizbang take your potassium.
So that they can easily pop in and watch over the yard, and then pop out again. So basically goblins pop in and out of this dimension. They don't have to travel the way that we travel.
And there it is. It's confirmed. Whizbang is a multi-dimensional being, but for some reason he needs you to stack the rocks and the bubble gum for that matter. Give me my bazooka Joe, says Whizbang, and this man says with glee. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I mean, we did a dang stream yesterday. Do you know what I'm saying? And I had a blast. I truly did. Thanks everybody for calling in. I had so much fun with you.
I had so much fun.
And I had a lot of fun today. Sue, hey, that was good. I had a great time. I felt like it was something else I was gonna say. I kind of lost it. I don't know. Thanks for hanging out. Make a goblin outpost. And if you see Darren W. Woods, the CEO of ExxonMobil, you tell him to cut off my balls. Because it wouldn't be right for anyone else to do it, and it needs to be done. All right? So do the right thing, Darren, and neuter me. Darren W. Woods, CEO of ExxonMobil. Neuter me.